The last time Matthew Moores and his Yankton Bucks were in Sioux Falls, they left the floor of the Denny Sanford Premier Center with the AA State Championship trophy. 9 months after that magical March weekend, the Bucks are in the Sanford Pentagon tonight to face Brandon Valley in the Throwback Classic. Up until last year, you had to go back a ways to find Yankton's last boys basketball state championship team. The Bucks claim the school's first state title since 1978 and come back this season as the state's #1 ranked team and 2-0 after wins West River last weekend. Though they lost several seniors, the 6'8 sophomore Moores is the reigning player of the year, already receiving scholarship offers from Big Ten schools and the center of a team that has a chance to repeat.
We really try not to think of it as like a title defense because no one can take away what we did last year, and we have to come out this year really strong because every team's gonna give us their best. So we just have to come out ready to play every single game.
I think there's something that you can lean on in having those experiences. I know the guys going through it last year and getting a taste of that success makes you just want to be back there more.
And we'll have highlights of those games tonight at 10. We're less than 24 hours from the biggest game in the history of South Dakota State football. A second shot at North Dakota State in the FCS semifinals. Their first meeting back on September 29th was the game of the FCS regular season, with the teams trading leads several times before NDSU ultimately scored in the fourth to go ahead for good and win 21-17. In that game, SDSU got out to a 7-0 lead and was threatening to make it 14-0 when this end-zone interception turned the game around. Those are the kind of mistakes the Jacks haven't made since that game and certainly can't afford to make again tomorrow night.
We're rewatching the tape and seeing how far we've come since then. We made a lot of mistakes in that game, and we just weren't clean, not clean enough to beat a team that's of that caliber. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just correcting those mistakes.
I like to say not make it bigger than it is. At the end of the day, it just comes down to playing football, going out there, having fun, and just focusing on your job and just executing things.
I think the key is, and the difference needs to be, you don't know when you're going to win the game. It could be the first play of the game that has a huge impact in the game. And so our guys, to me, the key is taking the field and knowing when I'm out there, I can impact the game.
Some late news tonight. NDSU reportedly has their new head coach, promoting defensive coordinator Matt Entz. Kickoff tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on ESPN2. The Jackrabbit women's basketball team gave 7th-ranked Oregon all it could handle in Frost Arena before ultimately losing. For plenty of other college teams in SDSU's position, that would be enough, but moral victories aren't something the Jackrabbits are into. Despite leading for most of the game, State fell 87-79 as they just couldn't make enough plays down the stretch. Disappointing since they almost had an upset earlier against number 6 Baylor.
We talked about it, we're right there. It's frustrating, but it's also, you can't be content. There's little plays in there that offensively and defensively we should have had.
We played really hard, did a lot of good things. We've had games like this before with that level of team, and we just haven't made enough plays. Could be offensive or defensive, and that's really the difference.
And we'll be back in one moment.